Good afternoon. My name is Debbie Dykes with Network in Action, and I have Tom Brodie here with me today. Thank you for joining me, Tom.
Well, thank you for having me, Debbie.
So let's start by telling a little bit to our audience about who you are and what you do.
No problem. Thank you. My name is Tom Brodie, and I call myself the found money guy because what I do for business owners is show them how to get cash out of their business in areas they never even thought to look before. So especially if a business owner owns their building, there's a way to accelerate depreciation, which means that's going to be a bigger depreciation expense, which lowers their net income, which then lowers the amount of taxes that they have to pay. So that's where they can actually free up cash, is because every dollar they don't send to Washington is a dollar they can spend in their business.
Right, right. Well, and I know some businesses right now businesses slowed down considerably. They may not necessarily be shut down, but I would think this would be a really good time to look into your services and what you can do for them.
Well, exactly. And it's one of the things that has been the hardest challenge for me, because when people are busy in their business, right, they don't look for new and inventive ways of making money or saving money. But right now when cash is so critical, and everybody that owns a building and a business is looking for ways to get more money, because their tenants are hurting too. So everybody's hurting. This is a great way for businesses to look to try to get some freed up cash. I mean, and it's significant. We can save a building owner 6 to 10% of his building's cost in avoided income taxes.
Wow. So I was going to ask you a question, how is your company responding to the coronavirus? But I could see that being a great way to help business owners and building owners, like you were saying.
Absolutely. And they've been quite aggressive in trying to get that word out there, because not a lot of building owners know about this, and even a lot of CPAs don't know about this too much. And one of the things that CSSI and Cost Segregation Services International is the company I work with, one of the things that they're doing is really going out and pushing more webinars out there. In fact, there's a wrinkle in the CARES Act that specifically deals not with cost segregation, but the effect of cost segregation. So in a nutshell, if a company's had a net operating loss in the years 2018, 2019, or 2020, they can take that net operating loss, carry it back 5 years, and reduce the income in those previous years when presumably they were making money.
Right.
They eliminate the income in those years, then they've got a tax refund coming because they've already paid the income taxes. But if you go back now and zero out that income, whatever they paid in income taxes is money they get back from the IRS. So this is not a loan. This is a check you will get from the IRS. So if you're hurting this year, it's something to think about. And it's not just, if you have a net operating loss from whatever reason, it doesn't have to be that you did a cost segregation study with us, although that could help you. If that generated a net operating loss, that would help. But for anyone that's suffering, this is something you really need to take a look at with your CPA or your accountant.
Oh, perfect. Sounds like a great opportunity. And while you're unique in your field to me is unique. Mm-hmm. Do you have any tips that you might offer to our audience at this point?
Well, I'd say one of the general tips is, this whole COVID-19 and the working from home has showed a lot of people that they can work from home, and maybe they thought that they couldn't. And I think that it makes the whole virtual meeting over Zoom and other type platforms much more approachable and much more relevant to people. So I think that's not going to go away. I mean, at some point we'll get back to where we can have face-to-face, but for me and my business, not having to travel, even though I'm traveling in my local market area, that's got to be at least 3 hours a day of downtime that I was in the car going to and from meetings. Now that's gone. So that gives me more productive time to do other things. Plus I can also see more clients, because potential clients will be more open to a Zoom meeting rather than trying to rather than to say, we got to have a face-to-face meeting. If everyone's more open to this and is better at doing the virtual meetings, I think that's going to speed up business because you eliminate a lot of the transportation time.
Right, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. So, well, that brings me to another question. So as we have transitioned to this, I guess, difficult or challenging time,
Mhm.
what opportunities have you identified that may alter the way you do business once we get past this?
Well, I think just the fact that everyone's struggling for cash, right? Cash flow's always been king, but now people are really looking with a fine tooth comb at their business saying, what am I missing? What can I do? How can I increase the cash? And how can I do business differently? So I'm hoping that businesses are going to be more open to, suggestions on how I can show them how they can save money. In fact, I can do an estimate on a building owner's building in about 3 business days. They give me 4 pieces of really high level information, and I can get them an estimate back to them, so they can see not only what they'll save in their income taxes, but what my fees will be. And my fees are a small portion of the money they're going to save. Plus, my fees are tax deductible. So there's a
Oh,
great savings there. Typically, the ROI, if you want to look at in those terms, ROI on a cost segregation can be anywhere from 20 to 40%. And you're not going to find an investment anywhere else that gives you that kind of return. So this is a great way to free up cash and help your business in the current tax year.
perfect. Perfect. So exactly what kind of person or business should we be sending to you? Who should come to you for your advice and your services?
Any business owner that owns their building. So if it's a small dentist's office, or I'm working with the vet's office actually right now. They built a big pet boarding facility that's beautiful. I mean, they spent a lot more money than they needed to, I would think, but it's a beautiful facility and it's very attractive to pet owners. So it's things like that. They never knew about it. And actually I happened to see their building just driving down the street, and I went, oh my gosh. So anyone that owns a building as part of their business is a perfect example of someone that could use the help and they may not know about it. Also, anyone that owns buildings that leases them out, they may be able to take advantage of the cost segregation aspect of
Okay.
it, definitely. And with the CARES Act, there's been things that they can even help them take some of that loss this year and carry it back. And so there's
Oh,
just so many things that people haven't heard about that we can help them with that maybe their CPAs aren't on top of. So talk to me. It's absolutely no cost. We can do an estimate, turn that around like in 3 business days, like I said, and then they'll have all the information they need to make a decision. So it's no obligation. If they don't want to do it, that's fine. And we just move on. So, but it's something that people should be thinking about.
but you're taking into consideration the building and all of the equipment, everything inside as well, correct?
Absolutely. Because what cost segregation does is it takes your building and break it up into different components. And all those different components or systems have an asset life, right? So rather than taking the total value of the building, dividing it by 39 years, which is what the accounting life of a building is, there's certain assets that aren't going to last 39 years, right? So you've got things like crown molding, interior doors, the parking lot, that's a different category. So you've got like 5, 7, and 15-year categories. So we're going to depreciate those things faster. And that's where the accelerated
Huh.
depreciation part comes in cost segregation. That just means you get the write-off now versus waiting decades for the building to be fully depreciated. What can you do with that money right now instead of kind of giving the government an interest-free loan?
Right. Oh, that's great information. Good to
So
hear.
especially with example with the vets boarding facility, it's pretty much a metal building and then built out on the inside of it, but they spent more on the parking lot around it. They've got like 50 spaces around it than they did on the building. And knowing that that parking lot is a 15-year asset that needs to be depreciated faster. Oh, and by the way, with the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, since they just built the building last year, all of that less than 20-year assets can be written off in the first year. That's 100% bonus depreciation. And there's things like that that people just don't know about, and we can help them take advantage
Right.
of all the tax legislation.
Perfect. Well, how would somebody get hold of you?
It's very easy. They can call me on my cell phone. That number is 713-906-3710, or send me an email at tom@tombrodie.biz, or they can go out to my website, thefoundmoneyguy.com, and contact me there. Actually, from my website, they can actually schedule an appointment with me. Just look at my calendar, pick a time, and we can do a Zoom call. Of course, we're going to have to do a Zoom call for the foreseeable future, but definitely a phone call or whatever is most comfortable. We can do it over email as well.
Perfect. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank
Well, I
you.
certainly appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. And if you have any last words you'd like to impart upon our audience, I'm happy to hear them.
I just think the one thing that I think everyone's got to take from this is, we will go back to normal at some point, but I think this whole virtual meeting is going to be part of our new normal. So take advantage of it, get to know your equipment and use it. Lighting is things that we were talking about before. You see people struggling with how to turn their camera on, how to turn their microphone on, having a window behind them, which makes them look like a shadow. Investigate those things, make yourself look better on camera with lighting and other things. And it's going to help you be more professional when you have to meet with someone in a virtual environment, because that's not going away.
Right. Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate your time, and happy to have you as part of a Network in Action member, and look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, me too, Debbie. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.